Shalom, it's Levi Shore. Welcome back to Swing Good Torah. We're doing Parsha Vayeira. It's a very special Parsha to me because 53 years ago, on this very Parsha on Shabbos, I was born. Yay! But we're going to talk about something else that was born in this Parsha. Because this Parsha is the birth of the Jewish people. And the Jewish people were born of the great kindness of Abraham and Sarah, Abraham and Sarah, and the laughter that Sarah has, and the miracles and the miraculous. And we're going to see how it all ties together in this Parsha. So the Parsha begins, Abraham, he just got his bris milah, he got a circumcision at the age of 99. And it said that the third day is the most painful after getting a circumcision. So most of us don't remember because we're 3 days old. So we don't, we're it's on the 8th day, so we're 9, 10, 11, we're 11 days old. So most of us don't remember that most painful third day after. But Hashem, this infinite being full of love and compassion, didn't want Abraham to have to exert himself that day. And he knows how much Abraham loved, bring guests into his home. And their tent was open on 4 sides so they could create these luxurious meals for travelers and then teach them about the blessing and the wonders of Hashem. So Hashem made it extremely hot, so there's no travelers. But then he saw that Abraham was getting so sad that he sent down 3 malachim, he sent down 3 angels, they appeared as men, and Abraham went running after them. He didn't care about the pain because his life was about chesed, it was about kindness and giving to others. So he ran out to greet them. And it's very interesting what he does. He runs after them, and he brings water to wash their feet. The first thing he does is wash their feet. And the first thing he does is he tries to remove them from any kind of avodah zarah, for any kind of false worship, strange worship that's not worship of this one infinite being, that's not worship of God. And first thing he does is to wash off them of any potential avodah zarah, and then he sits them under a tree. So first thing, it's a nice hospitality. It's it's so hot and it's a nice cool shade, but the tree represents the Eitz Chaim, the tree of life. And what is the tree of life? The tree of life is the Torah. So first he removes, it's Sur Meirah, he removes any potential idol worship, avodah zarah from them, any false beliefs that we may have. We have to remove them first, and then we can sit under the tree of Torah, and we can absorb the wisdom of the Torah. So then he runs to his wife, and he asks her to get 3 seyas of unsifted flour, and then 4 of sifted flour, and then knead them and make cakes. So Rashi explains that the unsifted flour was to coat like the cracks in the top of these wood burning ovens that they used to have, these tenors, and that was just to prepare the oven, and then the fine sifted flours to make cakes for the guest. And I think this took place on Pesach. I'm not sure, or it may have been Rosh Hashanah. Okay, I don't want to go into. I forgot the chronology. We're doing it right now in Masechta Rosh Hashanah. So then Avraham runs to get cattle to serve to his guests, and he takes this calf that's very tender and good, and Rashi tells us that he took these 3 bulls, and this is really interesting, and he took the tongues, which is a delicacy, out of the 3 bulls, and then he serves it with mustard. And this, you go to any great Jewish restaurant, great Jewish deli, this was the first Jewish delicatessen. Who doesn't love a great deli? And he serves it to his guests, and his son Yishmael, he's teaching him to help prepare. And Yishmael also hurried and prepared. And then this is interesting. So there's a lot of talk about this, that he took cream and milk. And so what the Gemara says on this is that he first served a dairy appetizer, because you can't mix the basar v'chalav, you can't mix the milk and the meat, but you can have the dairy first, and then you wash that down, and you maybe wait like a half hour according to the Zohar. So then you can serve your meat dishes, but he gave them an additional dairy appetizer to relieve them of their hunger, and then wash that down. And then the levush ha'ora, he says, very interesting. He says that as soon as each little dish was done, Avraham rushed it out like at the finest restaurant. Like, oh, here's your fine cut of steak. Let me serve you that. Oh, here's some nice beef ribs. Let me serve you that. And as each thing got done from Sarah's kitchen, Avraham served it to the guest. And these were the 3 malachim sent by Hashem. So I think one of the malachs Raphael was to cure Avraham. And then I think it was Gabriel. I think it was Gabriel who was sent to destroy, Sodom and Gomorrah, Sodom and Gomorrah. And then I think there was Michael, perhaps, was there to save Lot, to save Abraham's nephew Lot from Sodom. And one of the Malach says, he says, "Where is Sarah, your wife?" And Avram says, "Hine, behold, she's in the tent. She's a sneas. She has modesty. She's cooking delicious meal for you. She's not running all over town. She's very snua." And then the Malach says, he says, "I'm going to return at this time next year, and there will be life, and there will be a son to Sarah, your wife." Now, Sarah was listening from the entrance of the tent as the Malachim were speaking to Abraham, and she starts to laugh. And she says, "Can it really be that that I will have clear skin again?" And the Torah uses interesting word. It's called Edna, which is related to Eden, the Garden of Eden. It's like a delight, that her skin will be shiny and delightful, like the glow of youth again. And she says, "My husband is old." He says, "Vadoni zakein." My husband is old. Now this is really fascinating. This is a great lesson here. So then Hashem starts to speak to Abraham. So now, like, Hashem, it sent these angels to be guests, but now Hashem himself appears and begins to speak. And Vayeira means, and he appeared. He appeared. And Hashem appears to Abraham, and he says, "Why is Sarah laughing?" It's sachaka, like sachaka. Why is she laughing? "Is it even true that I will give birth, though I've aged?" So Hashem changes Sarah's words. Sarah said, "Oh, my husband's old," but Hashem, says, "Oh, Sarah said that she's old." So Hashem's lying? What's going on? This infinite being, this infinite creator is lying to Abraham? So this is the only time we can tell a lie if it's in the interest of shalom bayis. If it's to make peace between a husband and a wife, you can tell a lie. It's not a good habit to be in, but if you need to, if it will create peace between a married couple, it's the only time you can tell a lie, and Hashem teaches us this lesson. And he says, "Is there anything beyond Hashem? Hayi pale me Hashem. Is there anything miraculous or that's beyond Hashem's power?" So in a disappointed time, now Hashem reiterates. He says, "A disappointed time, I will return to you at this time next year, and there will be life, and Sarah will have a son." So Sarah denied, she says, "Lo sachakti, I didn't laugh." And he said, "Lo ki sachakt." He said, "No, you laughed." So what is going on with all this? And it's so interesting. So, right, obviously their son is Yitzchak, meaning he will laugh. Isaac, and it's translated to in English. But we see here, this is going to be the second generation. This is going to be the beginning of the Jewish people, and it started with Abraham and Sarah. It started with great kindness, with them opening up their tents. And we see this all through 4,000 years of Jewish history. The Jewish people are renowned for hospitality. Even though we've been oppressed and with pogroms and inquisitions and holocausts and this and that, Jewish people love to invite people over to their home. They love to open up their homes for Shabbos. Even if, like, Jews who don't feel like they're so religious, they open up their homes for Super Bowl parties or Thanksgiving or whatever. Jewish people love to have guests. They love to be able to do kindness for other people. And this has been the heart of the Jewish people. And laughter. I mean, how many Jewish comedians have we seen over the years? And just the great trait of laughter. And what's interesting is Yitzchak, who is the embodiment of Gevurah, of strength, of self-control. And in that we don't think of that as laughter. We think sometimes laughter is like letting it all go. But in control and self-control, that's the laughter. And laughter is part of the heart of the Jewish people. And then the miraculous. Because the second generation of the Jewish people began with a man who was 100 years old and a woman that was 90 years old. And Hashem did a great miracle to begin the Jewish people. And we've seen all throughout 4,000 years of history, we've seen the miraculous. We've seen sometimes nation after nation, empire after empire tries to destroy us, but Hashem miraculously saves us from their hands. And sometimes it's revealed, like when we left Egypt. And sometimes it's hidden, like when we were saved from the wicked Haman. Purim, it's been hidden for a lot now. I mean, but we see, like in 1967, the miraculous victory that the Israeli army had against many Arab nations. And we see the little miracles here and there constantly saving the Jewish people. But this is the heart of the Jewish people. It's kindness, it's laughter, and it's looking into the world and seeing that it is all really miraculous. And it's from this infinite being full of love and kindness. And those three qualities, and bringing out the qualities of kindness and laughter and seeing the miraculous in the world, that is the birth of the Jewish people. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you back again soon on Sweet and Good Torah.